What's going on, y'all? It's GumGumTCG here, back again with another episode of Tournament Toppers, and today I got something pretty special for you. Today, as you can see, I have a Katakuri list, and this is going to be Brennan Miller's 18th place Katakuri list from the Peoria regional that just happened this past week. And we're going to go over this list, and we're going to go over his matchups, and we're going to jump into a game and do some gameplay with it. So if you like to see content like this, make sure you're subscribed. We're going to be doing a free US only giveaway once we hit 1,000 subscribers. There'll be a box of OP05 to one lucky US subscriber. So make sure you're subscribed by the end of the year so we can hit that goal. If we don't hit that goal by the end of the year, we'll do another giveaway. But anyway, make sure you're subscribed, comment down below, like the video, let me know what you think about this list and what you think about Katakuri coming up into this next meta. I think that Katakuri's always been a strong deck since its release, and it only gets better. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some of these matchups. So, like I said, Brennan got 18th place with this list at Peoria, and we're going to go over the matchups real quick. The first matchup was a Katakuri mirror. They lost the dice roll, but he still took the win. Second was against Zoro, lost the dice roll, still took the win. Third was against Whitebeard, lost the dice roll, still took a win. On a streak, losing these die rolls and still taking these wins. That's some big brain mentality right there. I don't know, just going crazy. Next, they played against Kid Film, which was one of their only losses. Lost the dice roll, lost to that. Said that he mulliganed, redrew, and it was 4 2Ks and a 10 cost Big Mom, which is just tragic. You know, I think if it was anything else, he could have pulled that victory out. Next one was against Ace. He lost the dice roll, but he won. Next was another Katakuri mirror, and he won that dice roll, but he did end up losing that game. Next was against Green Purple Dofi. He won the dice roll and he won. He said he got back-to-back Pero triggers turn 1 and 2. So triggers out of life are crazy, man. That's one thing that Katakuri has going for him, is it has some crazy strong triggers out of life. And then last two games were both against Whitebeard, lost both those die rolls and won both of those games. End result was 7 and 2 and placed 18th with it. You know, I mean, he's got a picture of the standings here. I will post right up here for y'all that want proof, because people ask for proof. People say that these lists are fake, but I have proof. I'll post it right there. And yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about this list. So, of course, playing the Katakuri leader. If y'all don't know what this does by now, you really should. Dawn times 1 when attacking, look at a life card from the top of you or your opponent's area and move it to the top or bottom of the life. And then this leader gains 1,000. So for the cost of 1 Dawn, you get free knowledge and a 7K swing. Insanely powerful. Not going to go over all these cards super in depth, because at this stage in the meta and the game, you should know what most of these yellow cards do with such a strong deck running around, but we will touch on some of them a little bit. But let's just go ahead and jump in. There's one copy of a 2K Sanji. I guess just needed one extra slot in the deck and wanted to round it out with the 2K. Always nice, you know. I think that this one has some good usability, you know. That effect gets you basically a free draw, but most of the time it's just 2K that's searchable off of Pudding. Next, we got the Charlotte Cracker, which is just a devastating card when you get down low in life. Gains double attack and 1,000 power when it has a Dawn on it. And as the trigger to play it for the cost of discarding 1 card. Crazy card, honestly. Just even if you don't get the double attack, getting a free body out of life for the cost of 1 card out of your hand is insane. Next, on 4 copies of the Searcher Charlotte Pudding. Adding those Big Mom Pirate cards. You know, you got to get those searches off and add those cards, get them counters to your hand, get them big bodies when you need them. Then next, of course, on 4 copies of Sparrow, one of the most important cards in the deck, in my opinion, just because it's a strong beater. And then when it's destroyed, you also get to search the top 3 of your deck for a Big Mom Pirate card, getting you closer to your big bombs in the deck, like 10 cost Mom and 8 drop Katakuri and 9 cost Yamato. Actually, scratch that last one. You cannot add Yamato. I forgot. But yeah, I mean, you can add almost everything in this deck. There's a handful of cards that you can't, but most of the time you're looking for a couple specific ones, and that's going to be the next one, 10 cost Mom. This is kind of the blowout card of the deck, you know, 10 cost, 12,000 power. On play, if your leader's Big Mom Pirates type, you get to add a life from the top of your deck to the top of your life, and you get to trash your opponent's top life. So especially with this leader effect, you know, knowing what your opponent's life is, or maybe you have a Katakuri that you stack and you stack one of their cards to the top of their life. Then next turn you play the Linlen to rip it away. It can be absolutely devastating. This card's insanely powerful. Next we got 4 copies of Strusen. Just another searchable 2K counter. Effect doesn't really come up much, almost never hits the board, but good 2K. Then on 3 copies of the 8-drop Katakuri, insane card. On play, places a character with the cost of 8 or less on the top or bottom of its owner's life area face up. So just some good removal that this deck really needs. You know, this deck doesn't have a lot of removal. I'm not saying it needs much more, but its only real forms of removal are Thunderbolt and Katakuri. Kind of suffers in the removal department. You know, when the Whitebeard format was rolling around in OP03, when they still had all the Marcos, it was a big problem going up against Whitebeard because, one, a lot of your cards that rip life are offline against that deck, and then also when they place multiple of those Marcos on field, you don't really have a solid way to deal with them, the blocker Marcos, that is. So yeah, having some removal in the form of a big body, which, like I was mentioning, you could pair with that Linlen the next turn to rip the card that you just placed and just get rid of it forever. Super strong card. Next, we're on 4 copies of Capone Gang Beige. I guess it's just Capone Beige. They didn't want to put Gang on the card. But just an insane 2K counter card. You know, trigger up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters can't attack during this turn. Absolutely insane, especially when paired with this leader effect. You can move it around and know when it's coming, and place it at the bottom of your life, so you know when that last hit gets taken, you can stop one of their big bodies from attacking that turn without your opponent even knowing it's there. Then next, 4 copies of the Blocker Sanji, which is also just an insanely powerful card out of OP04. Just a solid blocker that also has a trigger to trash a card to play it. And that's really what's super important in this deck. Like I said, those triggers really can carry you sometimes. Next, 4 copies of Charlotte Amand, another searchable 2K counter. People have replaced the 2K from the Big Mom structure deck, the 2K Pudding, because you could not add that off of Pudding. So replacing that with another searchable target is really nice. I don't believe this effect comes up very often. I don't ever see this card hit the field. However, I guess it could, but mainly, like I said, just for a 2K. Then this is where the Katakuri deck building has really gotten interesting, in my opinion. We're playing vanillas, and a lot of people think vanillas aren't very strong, and I think that that's just a wrong opinion. You know, when you play vanillas like this for 6 Dawn that have 8,000 power, and you just need 1 Dawn to make them 9K, it's pretty devastating. And I mean, it's such a big body, it's hard for you to clear unless you have your own big body. And I mean, yeah, on 3 copies of this Charlotte Sparrow, searchable, big body, hard to remove. What else could you want? I mean, I guess an effect, but you don't really need it if this beater's going to stick for most of the game. Next, we are on 2 copies of the 9-cost Yamato, one of the other best yellow cards out of OP04, heavily played in Queen, not so much in Katakuri, but I do like this card a lot. I think it's very powerful and slept on. It sees a lot of play in the NL deck in OP05 as well. So, on play, KOs an opponent's character with a cost that's equal to or less than the total life of you and your opponent. Then if you have 1 life or less, you can add a card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. So pops something and stacks a life and is a 9K body. Absolutely insane. Just a crazy strong card. Only thing that is the downside of it in this deck is that it is not searchable off of your searchers. So then next we're on 3 copies of Randolph, just another 5-drop 7K beater. Like I said, these vanillas, man, you just play them and they don't leave the field usually. So then 2 copies of Brûlée. I have seen a lot of lists play more than this, but 2 copies is fine. You know, you're already playing so many triggers in the deck. You don't need to, I mean, not everything has to be maxed. And I think Sanji's a better trigger blocker anyway, because it can also act as a nice beater. But Brûlée catching your opponent off guard is also really solid too. So 2 copies of that. And then 4 copies of Thunderbolt. Like I was saying, this deck doesn't really have solid removal, so having something that can be removal is nice. And that's what your Thunderbolt is. You know, 2 costs, you trash the top of your life and KO a 5 or less. And then the trigger just KOs a 5 or less. So getting this out of life is absolutely crazy. Definitely maxed out on it. Got to get that trigger out of life and KO those cards. But yeah, that's the list. 51 cards, carried them to 18th place, and we're going to put it to the test. We're going to see if we can't hop into a game real quick and catch a quick W. I know I haven't had a great streak of showing off decks for tournament toppers yet, but maybe this will be the one where we can do that. I played Katakuri a little bit in OP03. Haven't really messed with it in set 4. Been had my head down in the queen deck, but yeah, let's see if we can take down a dub. All right, y'all, we're about to queue up, but right before we do, I want to shout out Dueling Guard. If you haven't heard of Dueling Guard, they are the best TCG accessory company on the market. They make anime-inspired TCG accessories like binders, deck boxes, and playmats that are super high quality and have amazing designs. One Piece, Bleach, Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, they're just dropping banger after banger, and if you haven't seen them yet, definitely be sure to go check them out. I have a link to their site in the description below, as well as code GUMGUMTCG you can use for a discount at checkout. What? You haven't heard of Dueling Guard? Dueling Guard is the best TCG accessory company on the market. They have high quality deck boxes, binders, and playmats made for people who enjoy playing and collecting trading card games in style. They have tons of designs based off of fan favorite animes such as One Piece, Bleach, Full Metal Alchemist, and many more. They hit the ground running earlier this year, making high quality TCG accessories with beautiful designs that have sold out many times. So if you haven't picked up any of their products, make sure to do so before they sell out again. I have a few deck boxes and playmats from them already and can attest to how they don't cut any corners when it comes to quality, performance, and design. I highly recommend their products and use them every time I play cards. Be sure to check the description below for a link to their site and use code GUMGUMTCG for a discount at checkout. Alright, y'all, got the deck queued up here. We're just going to jump right into a public game. I'm going to host one. So, yeah, let's see if we can queue up. And we got a mirror match, you know. Not too fond of this mirror match. But I believe we're just going to start it off. We're going to go second. And this hand's actually looking pretty nasty. We're gonna hold on to this because we can drop our pudding, try and search for Sparrow, and then I mean we've got a Sanji if we need it. We've got the Tin Mom already, which is really useful in this matchup, you know. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and go pudding. See if we can't find that Sparrow. We can't, but we can grab Cracker, and we'll pass. They also didn't have pudding first turn, which is pretty nice. I am reading here that they have Sparrow, though. They're attacking for 5, and we're just going to take it. No trigger there. We were hoping to hit a trigger, but no big deal, like I said. You know, hitting them here is kind of not what we want because we're going to drop this Cracker on the field, and I guess we could try and play around, play like less defensive so we can get down in life and then try to hit him with the Charlotte Cracker. But yeah, I guess we'll see what he does. That's crazy, but yeah, we'll just go ahead and drop Cracker on the field. Show me what you got, Supreme. Five at me. We will counter out of this one. We don't want to take too much damage because we know he's going to swing at us with lead as well. And he's probably going to drop a Randolph, I would assume. That sounds right. Oh, nope. He's going to go in for 8. Looking at my life. What's he going to do with it? He left it at the top, so it must not be great. We'll take it, though. Yeah, we can trigger it. That's fine. I'd rather trigger it now than to hold it in hand. We're going to either bait out some life, some cards in hand, or this blocker with this swing right here. So, see what he does. Yep, I figured the blocker would go. And then we will go in. I kind of want to go in on the Sparrow to get another card out of his hand. He'll let it go and see what he can find. Probably a Tin Mom if he can, I'd assume. Unless he already has one, I'd assume that's what he's going to try and find. Randolph. Well, we have our own Randolph. So right now our tempo is really good. We got a body, another big body, And we have a blocker on the field. He's at 7 Dawn, though, so we'll see what he ends up doing this turn. I figured he was going to go after Cracker, but since our Cracker's up right now, we can drop a 2K to defend it. So let's just drop a Strucin out of hand. And we'll see what he does. He kind of needs a blocker to go on board right now, or Cracker's going to get multiple cards out of his hand next turn. There it is. What did I say? If he could find it, he'll take it. He's going to try and go in on the Cracker again for another 6K. I really don't want to drop another card out of hand, but I think it might be what we have to do. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to drop the other Cracker out of hand. And then Sanji blocker. That's fine. Not too worried about it. I wish we did have like a Thunderbolt here to get rid of it. But what can you do? I think this turn we're going to drop our own Sanji blocker. So we got 4 Dawn to play with. I think the best course of action is going to be going for a 7K swing, a 7K into Sparrow, and then a big 9 into lead. Try and get some cards from him. So let's go ahead and see him use this Sanji or some cards out of hand. Yep, we'll take those cards all day. And then, like I said, we are going to go 7 again. We're going to try and go into the Sparrow. Kind of want to get this off the field. I know it gives him another search, but, well, that's kind of unfortunate. I don't really like that. But here we'll go in. And we'll look at his, and that's going to the bottom. And then we will drop our Sanji. Full board here, looking nice. And he's at, what, 9? So I assume he's going to try and go big at us and then drop that 7 Mom to get us to force out a life or force one of his up. Yeah, maybe he's got another pudding or something. He's up on card advantage in hand, but we have a lot more board presence. 7 into our Cracker here. We are just going to block with the Brulee. You know, this card isn't as valuable as some people might say, but having that double attack, be able to hit, you know, if he drops this 7 Mom here, I can trash my life, and then this double attack will still be active next turn. Or he will put it away with Katakuri. That works too. I didn't really see it coming, but sometimes you don't see it coming. Go in for 7. Sanji blocks it. Going for 5. Counters out. And then there's the Big Mom. We're back up at 5 to his 2. So, I mean, I could see him dropping 1 next turn. All we have to deal with is an 8K and a 5K. We're sitting pretty good. You know, we can take 1 life and then counter the other one if he attacks the Randolph. There goes the life. Yep, and then I've got that 2K for you, buddy. And we also have another 1K that we can just defend our life with, you know. If we can just keep that life advantage on him, I think we should be able to secure this victory. I do know that his last life card is that Charlotte Cracker. Oh, he's sitting here thinking for a minute. Don't concede. Please don't concede. Come on, bro. Okay, you passed. Well, Let's get a card out of his hand. I want to try and get one out of his hand if I can. Thinking, because I'd like to go Lin into this Katakuri. Try and take care of that if possible. Yeah, so like if he has got 3 2Ks in hand, he can save it, or 2 2Ks and a 1K. Risky business. I do think we go for it though. Yeah, see. Got that out of there. And then we'll go in for 7. Another big mom. And I mean, should be pretty clean from here. There's one for him, but he's got no blockers. I know his last life card, I don't know that one, but 12 into 7. Yeah, I mean, we just block this. And then we got another 1K. Never feels good going down this low in card advantage, but I mean, 12? Wow. Punished. Big time punished. I think as long as we do this Dawn distribution right, we should have it. So let's go. Thinking about what he has in hand. If he's got 2Ks, I mean, if they're all 2Ks, he wins. Good game. Well, I guess he doesn't win, but sure, will it be tough? Going for 12. I know that last card's a cracker. Had to stack a beige from life. That's insane. And then move that to the bottom. GG. The list works, y'all. I mean, we had what we needed to win, and we took it down. You know, Katakuri is a really strong deck. I do think that if you have the curve right, you have your big moms. Whoever plays that first big mom should be in the driving seat. And yeah, if you're interested in playing yellow and you haven't gotten a place to start, I hope this helps you out. Katakuri is a really strong deck, especially for the rest of this OP04.5 format or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it works. I mean, he got 18th place playing this list. I think that you could be able to succeed at your locals or your regionals if you pilot a list like this. So, yeah, like I said, let me know what you think about this list down in the comments below, or you could talk about it in my Discord. If you're not a part of the Discord, make sure to jump in there because we are hosting a free box tournament once we hit 100 members. Hoping that's not closed up by the time this video goes live so that you can get in there. But if you're not in there, jump in there. It's a free US only box tournament, and then we will be hosting other box tournaments in the future. So if that interests you as well, make sure to get in there too. Yeah, also make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Going to be doing more tournament topping deck lists. And if you have a tournament topping deck list from your locals, a regionals, a treasure cup, whatever, definitely share it in my Discord. I'd love to see it and feature you on the next episode of Tournament Toppers. Thanks y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.